Are you plain bored of woodworking? Get excited again with Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit. Fisheye's Sandpaper Kit comes with everything you see here. Just pick your paper, spread the glue, and shake on the sand. Voila! Beautiful handcrafted sandpaper. And if you act now, we'll include candy sprinkles absolutely free. What better way to say I love you than with a gift of sandpaper? Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit is just $19.99 wherever crappy gifts are sold.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for being early. See, Johnny is in the chat. Jim's in the chat. Big Water UAV Solutions. It's the new teeth. John from Unlimited Vertical. Yeah, we've got, and Mudball. Mudball's on his way home. So, yeah, we've got a few people watching so far. Thanks for coming early. You could have been here. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to come here, and for that, we're grateful. Without further ado, let me introduce from Brampton, Ontario, Jim Beauchart. How you doing, Jim? Hey, you got a new chair.
I got a new chair.
Yeah, very ergonomic. Yeah. Was it hard to put together?
This turnaround chair is so easy to put together, a clown could do it. And there you have it.
And there you have it. Oh, very good. Yeah, so how you doing there today?
Well, my lawyer says I don't have to answer that question.
Okay.
But other than that, pretty good.
Hey, and there's Ray Kelly just showed up, and Philip Koshat. You know what? I had opened up my sound effects thing, and I didn't use it this time. All the way from Hammond, Louisiana, we have a special guest tonight, Johnny Drone
What's
Flyer.
up, Gary? Hey, Jim. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing great. Yeah,
Thank y'all for having me. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're here for. We just have fun. We don't get into seriousness or news. And I've got a list of questions here.
Uh-oh.
It's blank. Oh, on both sides.
Oh. I'll be like Jim. I'll just pull the attorney. I can't answer that. Or Hey, Jim, I need a new chair. I mean, look, I'm just saying. If you need to come work on this one.
Yeah, well, I'll just put my work clothes on and come on over and build one.
Oh, good stuff. How's everything down there, Johnny?
It's we've been a really nice stretch of weather, because we had the major hurricane here and things. I say they're not back to normal yet, but they're definitely getting back. The town I live in, of course, the city, it's a little bit more picked up and back to normal than say the rural areas. Of course, the parishes we don't have counties here, we have parish, but it's definitely they still got a lot of debris to be picked up, but it is, street lights are a lot are out, stop signs are still bent over and kind of need straightening, but they're getting there. It's a big job, and the small towns, like, we're in a town of about 20,000 people, so the workforce of, they probably, I don't know how many street workers they have and stuff, but it's a big chore getting back. Street workers, yeah, not that kind of street worker.
Jim comes from where they have street walkers.
Driving down the road, 60 mile an hour, right in the gutter.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Hey, we old guys, how us old guys are. We kind of veer off pretty quick.
Well, after a hurricane like that, does that change the real estate market? Is there people starting to flip houses or stuff like that?
Well, there's a lot of, the market here was good anyway, but what happened now, there's so many houses damaged and they're starting to put, some of them need roofs. I mean, like in my neighborhood alone, I would say one street or two streets over, like if they had probably 20 houses on the street, probably 8 or 9 had trees through them. So a lot of them are, being repaired, and they're trying to rent temporary. And a lot of people don't want to, we're in a college town. We have a university of about 16,000 students. So rentals go pretty good. So yeah, it's kind of all building, but yeah, prices are pretty steep, and the availability is pretty tough right now. Plus, the holidays, not a lot of people like to make a move right through these next 30, 45 days, Yeah,
nobody's shopping for a house. They've got their tree in the living room.
Yeah, and that's kind of, my daughter and them actually have their house for sale next door, and they're going to build, and I'm actually going to scale down. I got, like, I don't know, probably almost 4,000 or 4,300 feet, not living, but, it's way too big for just me. So,
yeah.
What's the house go for down there, Johnny?
Around a university, I mean, you're probably looking between 3 to 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. My wife had our place appraised, and they said 850,000.
Oh, wow.
I said, I can't afford to live in a house that.
Yeah, I just sold a lot, a house, and it was for $242, but they actually tore the house down, so they wanted the lot.
Wow. Well, I used to have a neighbor, and he bought a house in Toronto, and I think he paid. This is going back 20 years. He paid $500,000 for it, and he tore the house down, subdivided it into 2 lots, and sold each lot for $600,000.
Oh, wow! That's pretty steep there.
Yeah, and that.
But it's. I mean, prices are high. Availability is low right now, and prices are high.
Yeah, it's that way all over the world.
It is. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, and especially, I say, as a realtor, we can't talk about areas, but there are different areas people want to be. We're near the university. It's people like to walk around. It's like a 2-mile sidewalk basically around the university, and it's it's just a different part of Hammond, and they have a local lab school, and then of course the high school is further out. So yeah, it's like any other city, Yeah,
no, that's right. Yeah. So with all this storm damage, you've been doing roof inspections, probably.
I have done a few roof inspections. Yeah, what's happening here? People, of course, I won't mention any names. There's probably 2 companies you might not want to have if you have a hurricane, and they're 2 of the bigger companies, but it's they're fighting the insurance companies, and now if you do want to swap, what they want you to do is they want a roof. They want to see your roof, and right now they're not even sending anybody out. So I've been doing a few simple roof inspections, which consist of basically 6 shots, and like a front, rear, side, and then overview, and that's really all they want. They just want to see that roof looks, today before they'll insure it. So yeah, I've been doing it, and those are really simple. And I know we talked a little bit before the stream. I am a realtor, and I don't want to. I mean, I've done a few houses, just the exterior. I don't want to get into doing inside shots. And we talked about I am colorblind, and you wouldn't want me trying to color grade a photo.
I used to work with a guy, and he bought a Honda Goldwing, and he brought it in, and he said, "I just love the color. I always wanted a green motorcycle."
And it wasn't green.
It's orange. He said it is. He says it looks good though, eh? And I went, yeah, it does.
Well, if you're colorblind, it's the red and green that you have problems with. You really can't. That's your two biggest, and that's a big it's a big problem for me.
So Christmas is pretty bland then for you.
Yeah, it's just bland. Yeah, it's like salt with no pepper.
So how long have you been selling houses, Johnny?
Since 1995.
Wow.
I worked for Winn-Dixie, which is I was a butcher. I was a market manager for 20 years, and I was a firefighter before that. So I've really only had a few jobs, I should have stayed. I know I should have stayed at the fire department. I
heard firefighters have long hoses. Is that true?
Well, that's like, I don't know. That's like 10 inches, huh?
It is in this house.
That's why, but Jim, that's why I always keep this handy.
So you can go to the washroom.
You kidding? That wide?
But no, it's things are getting back to normal here, so it's great. It's a great time of year, Christmas, and I know you guys are it's winter time, and I know y'all haven't. I know it's 76 degrees now because the sun's going down, but yeah, and y'all are pretty cold up there.
Everything seems to be working for me. There you go. Everybody.
What did I miss?
You guys were froze. I don't think I was.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
Steve,
so Gary, I do want to congratulate. I mean, I know you've been on a long time. We talked a little bit, but man, your show here took off. I like it. It's kind of before. It kind of gives people a little warm up, and I know a lot of times and it's kind of early for me. It's only 5, a little bit after 5 now, but I'll keep it on in the background, and I'm cooking or fooling with the kids. Usually my daughter pops in here around this time because the daycare they go to just is right across the street.
Oh, nice.
So, in a lot of shows, I think a lot of us, I know we're visual we're right now, but, you can also listen almost like a podcast. So,
yeah. I thought about even releasing it as a podcast, but we never got to there.
Yeah. And I know sometimes on Saturday morning, I know I'm on Rodney's stream, sometime Rodney Bell, but sometimes I'm, fixing breakfast, I'm making coffee. I'm just kind of listening. So it's fun to, listen to the YouTube. I mean, I don't say you don't really have to watch, hey, you might not want to watch.
We did, we started out, we were just, we would open it up to a whole bunch of people.
Sure.
And, you'd have 5 or 6 and people talking over each other. And, it wasn't really out of hand. It just, you couldn't really get to know somebody, right?
Well, it is. And I know, with our Fly for Fun show, when Ray and I kind of settled on the format, we only do 2 guests. And I know it's definitely, it is kind of hard to run. And, you're doing like a lot of the clicking, you do the banners. And so it's a lot of work. I mean, we talked a little bit about before the show. I don't know about y'all, our show's on Wednesday, y'all's on Thursday. And I know your Thursday comes up mighty quick, and so does my Wednesday.
I know.
And Jim knows because he does the bow chart on Ken. So I know, he's like already thinking for next week, and I know his is ready for tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you put the bow chart out on Tuesday for Ken to edit, right?
Yeah. I usually send it to him on Tuesday nights. And like I say, the Wednesdays, I'll usually get an email back from him. And so he does his work with it by editing some of it as well. But for this week, I tried to do as much editing, thinking of what he would do to mine usually. So hopefully he didn't do too much work to it. I don't know if that frustrates him or not. So
yeah. Yeah.
But so Jim, he always does something to it, or I mean,
yeah, I just send me and the clips.
I got it.
In between the jokes, he's always throwing in that extra horn from Uncle Extra Medium.
Right.
So yeah, and then the ones where you always see it on an angle or upside down, that's all him doing the editing.
But I mean, I know you kind of, I know you were on our show just a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it's really popular and people really look forward to it. I tell you, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm not saying, because sometimes, Ken's on maybe over an hour or sometimes near 2 hours or even longer. And it's like, but I got to see that part and the early part of that. I like the news,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Johnny. And I know other people, and, it's the usual fans that say something in the comments as well. But I'm sure there are people out there as well that don't make comments that get a kick out of it. And that's why I'm hoping they can switch over and catch the wrap-ups on my channel. I'm still way behind in that, but
yeah,
I put the link in there if anybody wants to peruse.
Well, it takes us all, we all have to, I mean, I say support each other, and I think it is, I know, and listen, here's the guide, and I of course put y'all in it already needs redoing because sure. It's constantly gonna need redoing. But it's hard to watch everybody, but you can, of course, you can go in there and say hello, and you can watch I think it's almost a compliment when somebody takes time out the day to watch a replay. Yeah. After you post this, and you might have, I don't know how many views you get, but last night, we're up to so many views from watching and I don't know if you got to watch for so long before it counts as a but it is a compliment. And so people, it's definitely, because I mean, look, there's a lot of shows. I mean, and listen, this might only be our little niche. I mean, there might be only 50 other drone shows we don't even know about, I hope not, because I don't know how I would, but
yeah, that's a great little guide.
And it was, I'll tell you, Captain Ray. Of course, Captain Ray is, I tell you, he knows them most up here, and it's like, and Maddie helped me with it. But yeah, it's we started off on Sunday, and we just went through the week, and and of course, we got to add Maddie's. I think Maddie is kind of basically doing on Tuesday now, and I think Thursday. I'm not sure if Al and Brad didn't do their show today. They kind of were doing that, so I got to get with them, and I don't want to leave. And then I think Bob Dempsey is going to start, the old farts with drones. I think he's going to start something after January. So yeah, there's a lot of changes. I mean, it's always going to need tweaking, and I know I text you, Gary, because I didn't want to leave you off because your show was already. So yeah, so we want to try to, and listen, people over there, well, you're doing it for you. Well, I mean, listen, the fonts are the same. There's nothing Johnny Drone Flyer here. You know what I'm saying? It's just a guide. So
you treat everybody fair.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for an extra $10 now, Jim, I'm just saying.
or if I could just put your picture up there, that can buy a lot of things.
Well, there we go.
Made the wall.
There's Johnny right there on the wall of fame.
I got to make the one behind the guy right up here in the right corner. I don't know.
Well, we're 15 weeks in now, and I'm gonna have to get a bigger wall.
But yeah, hey, I can sell. I don't know if I can sell a house in Canada, but hey, I can do a referral. I'm sure. we get you a house with a big wall.
I see Chuck from Cove Action has joined us. Ray Kelly's in the chat. Steve Carpenter has joined us. So we're getting up there.
Yeah, Steve's a good guy. Chuck, yeah, I'm enjoying his channel, and him and his wife do their little channel there. It's great.
Yeah, and Barry from North.
Yeah, Barry's a very nice young man. I tell you, him and his wife, yeah, they've been doing a couple live streams, so it's fun. It's fun to get. I say different people, and sometimes I always. Yeah, you can be on. I don't know if you can be on too much, but yeah, it's fun to get new people in the industry, or I say industry, or in the shows,
Yeah, well, that's right. Steve Carpenter says, Johnny Drone Flyer for an extra $10, you'll put in a 20-point font. How much extra for bold?
Yeah, well, I need to work up a price guide, I guess. the Johnny Drone Flyer edition of the Price is Right. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's like the TV guide for drone pilots, right?
Yeah, what we'll do is do a little book, and you can buy the cover. There you go. That'd be.
Chuck,
They always, it being a real estate agent, they always send you these emails. Hey, you could be on the front cover of this magazine for $695, but for today only, it'll be $495. So, and right now, look, first of all, you could take a picture with a Polaroid camera, and the house sells pretty quick, so you don't have to spend a lot of money. Because I do normally there's a husband and wife team. She does professional portraits, and he actually does drone. Of course, I do my own now. But before, I would just pay to get a few drone shots,
Yeah. Well, I was doing some of that for real estate, and you have to chase them down for the money, and then they want you to go back because they want this shot instead of that shot, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, we talked about that before. I think I had one guy. He's like, well, if you shot it like this and shot, I said, well, listen, first of all, I hate to say it's my drone, and I'm holding a remote, and I mean, I'm not saying a house. You could take it from 50 different angles, but it's not going to really, I don't say it's going to matter, but it mattered to him because he was paying for it, So I was like, when I got my truck, I said, dude, you don't have to worry about me doing another shoot. That's just kind of like you said, Gary. I think everybody thinks they're a producer or a photographer. And hey, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. That's why I hire those kind of people,
Exactly. I've only got one commercial job that I'm working on now, and it's a spot that's I can fly it from the house, and I've done it. It's better for me to show up and be on site when I'm.
Yeah, and I think the next big thing in real estate, I don't say real estate is a lot of mapping, but that kind of falls under the industry of surveying. So that that you got to be very careful here. I don't think I could just, and I don't really. I'm sure I know there's apps you can pay and you can pay for programs, but you can't just go out and map somebody's property, and it wouldn't be a legal survey for one thing.
No.
But it's got to be certified, stamped. So, and I think a lot of people, I think, there were some young guys in our office, for instance, they were some nice young gentlemen. They're real estate agents, and they bought I think at the time might have been a Mavic Zoom or one of the Mavics before I even had my drone. And they were like flying from the park right there in downtown. And it's like, and I started looking up the rules, of course, before I even had mine. It's like, but I wasn't going to, tell them, hey, y'all really shouldn't be doing that because it's, first of all, it's pretty close to the airport. Mm-hmm. But, and we're class D airspace with a 200, foot ceiling, from even my house here. But, there's so many people that don't know the rules. And I know we talked a little bit about I am Part 107, and I think you're equivalent there in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Gary, and Jim, are you or you're not?
Yeah, he can fly commercial.
Okay.
Basic license,
Yeah.
He just can't fly close to the airport or close.
And for y'all, I know the 250 is a big deal, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and where here it's not so. For us, it's just a $5 difference in registering your drone. Of course, I'm 107, so I have to register it anyway.
Yeah.
But it's in other parts, I think in the United States, people just think the 250. Everybody just wants the small drone, but for y'all, it's a big deal.
Yeah. Us in the UK and EU, I think, is the same. In Australia, it's pretty much anything goes when you've got the little one. As long, I think the only thing they insist on is safety. So they still don't want you flying it by the airport.
Sure.
But when they sell it to you at Best Buy, anybody can go into Best Buy and there's no guidance. There's no.
No, absolutely. Look how many drones will be under the Christmas tree, coming up here in a few weeks. And look, I know, I'm sure y'all get, and I don't really have I can go out to the lakefront in the little town Mandeville by the causeway, but when people see you, they always ask how far, how high, and how much. That's about the three questions you get.
Don't the pilot.
Yeah, they just want to know how far can it go. Of course, how high can it go, and they will ask about how fast also. But you do have to read the rules, because I am a very those guys who I don't say, and listen, they ain't hurting me if they fly. I'm not going to sit there and be the drone police, but I think safety comes in. And the FPV pilots, I know they'll tell you, and they'll be the first to say, those drones, they whip around pretty good.
Yeah.
So you need a good place to fly it. I mean, as you do a camera bird, because when you put a Mini 2 up, it's not too bad. But when I put my Phantom 3 up, which I hardly fly anymore to standard, it's like you might as well just put a big banner. I'm flying a big ass drone. So
hear it.
Yeah, you definitely. So
Adrian Mateo has joined us too. So
yeah, I see El Smeghead. Yeah, Andy.
Yeah. Okay.
Andy's a good guy. Andy's been going live a good bit. I know he's we kind of go back and forth. I know his work. I think he had a little wind noise the other day, but on the iOS app, on the Fly app, man, it's going live. You get a lot of feedback. So I don't know, but on Android, it's not like that. So
wow, yeah, I think that's probably part of the problem I have with the not the Go 4, with the Fly app.
The Fly app, yeah.
I don't know. The Apple support just doesn't seem to be there. I can't even get DJI Assistant 2 to download to my Mac anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. So, hey, it'll come in time, I guess. But
it's kind of weird that their smart controller is Android, but then they always say it works better on Apple. It's kind of I don't I
don't know. The Go 4 worked great with the Apple product. Fly app, not so much.
Yeah, and they've had, and it looks like the Fly app definitely, because it now supports, probably 7-8 drones, I guess, maybe,
Yeah, and I don't think they're not turning back from the Fly app. That, you buy a $5,000 Mavic 3 Cine, you're on that toy app.
Yeah, that's what I say. So you got the Mini, the SE, the Mini 2, the Air 2, the Air 2S, and now so that's 7 to 8 drones on that one app.
So if you want to fly a professional drone, you got to go to a Mavic 2 Enterprise, or the original Air, or the Mavic 2 Pro, or the Mavic 2 Zoom, or the Spark.
Yeah. I actually sold a Spark. And then I regretted that I sold it, and I bought Michael Wright's from him, and then I resold it again. I know. It's kind of crazy.
Just keeps coming back,
Yeah, you kind of you really hate to sell a drone for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought about donating mine to a school or something, but I just can't part with it.
Yeah.
I've still got 2 good batteries. I went through the original 3 that came with the first drone. They all swelled up and died. I just flew them to death.
Right.
And bought 2 more, and they're hanging in. So
I did sell the Hubsan Zeno 2, and I did sell the Femi Mini, which I hate to say, probably shouldn't have bought in the first place, but you try to. I hate to say, everybody says that, you're a fanboy, whatever, but listen, just, DJI does what it says on a box, or, it flies good. And I'm not saying, another company can. I'm kind of interested in Autel. I just want to see how those products fly. Of course, they've been, supposed to come out for a long time now.
Yeah.
The little Nano and the Light and all of that. But, I see you got DeMarco's in the house, and Chris Waters is in the house. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Chris was on last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, Chris was on last night on our show, and I tell you, Chris is a man. I tell you what, he's a pleasure to be around, and he, that guy worked his butt off at Spin Up. I tell you, he enjoyed it. I'm sure he probably enjoyed Spin Up Monday morning after everybody was out of Texas, and and he was fun to be around though. But I tell you what, he really did work, and they put together a production. They had
real talent there.
Yeah, he really is.
I just love that Sunshine Water Media.
You could call him by. He spells the name CHIRS, not KRS. No, hey, he does have a big friend in Texas now that will come beat you up, Jim.
You know what? The bigger they are, the harder they fall, my mother.
He's friend with this big, tall guy. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I used to work with a guy from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yeah, Lake Charles. That's to the west of us. Yeah.
Yeah, and we called him Big Bob, and he was 7'4" and weighed 456 pounds.
Oh wow!
I got the 456.
He was.
Oh yeah, Ken Harbauer. I'm sorry, I missed you, Ken. I saw you in here earlier.
He was a big boy, I'll tell you. And he was the funniest guy ever. And I remember one of the guys that I worked with, Bob, walked up to him and bumped into him. He said, "Oh, excuse me." And Big Bob looked down at him and he said, "Don't worry." Yeah. The big guy says, "Don't worry about it." He says, "I shit bigger than you."
Well, I tell you what, I knew Kai was big because they did a show with Kelly and Chris and Kai, and they stood up. And of course, I'm like 5 foot. I say 5'6". I'm probably 5'5". But anyway, I mean, when I stood on a table and I wasn't as tall as Kai, I knew he was tall. So.
You stand on the table to look him in the eye, right?
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. And just a real interesting character too. He's
he is, and I think Kai loves to be. I mean, him and Chris kind of got a little thing going on there. They like to, and Chris will make a little snap of you if you say something and play it back. So he's pretty good at editing. So he's kind of got Kai back, but I'm sure Kai get him back. But yeah, and of course together they put together that song, and that song they did was amazing.
Yeah, Mama, don't take my camera drone away.
Yeah. And Ken asked Kelly asked people to send in summer videos, and he put that together. Of course, he asked a few people to do, kind of do some lip syncing. So I pulled my best Britney Spears imitation there and did a lip sync.
Did a oops? You did it again.
Hey, Brittany lives just not far from me up the road.
Yeah, no, really?
Huh?
I got a thing for Brittany.
Well, I'll tell you what. I personally know her dad and mom. I mean, I think she's still divorced. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't think she's in too good with her dad anyway. But
no, yeah, they kind of. But no, it's they're good people, and it's kind of a small town girl that made it big, and it's hard to fathom, all the stuff she's been through, and hey, it is what it is,
Yeah, we say that about Justin Bieber too.
Yeah.
He's from about 2 hours away from me.
Yeah, you see it. You hate to see it because I mean, listen, what do you feel about whatever? But hey, hard work will get you what you want in life, and that just goes to show you.
Michael from Fly Zone Drones has joined us too. So
yeah, Mike and Sergio, two great guys. Because I helped them on Ken. Maddie and I helped them on Friday night and kind of co-host. So it's fun. We have a good time on that show.
Yeah.
Ron Lockwood is in.
How come I don't see Ron Lockwood?
I don't. Oh yeah, I see him. Yeah, he just popped up.
Oh, there he is. There you go.
You're lagging, Gary.
I'm just a little behind the time. It's the Brant time zone that I'm in.
Oh yeah, it's an hour and a half difference. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm an hour and 4 minutes different. Oh man. Yeah. So you got everything all ready for Christmas there, Johnny?
I do. I got the Christmas tree up right there. I need a topper. We couldn't. My little granddaughter, I think, she helped me put it up. But yeah, I got the tree up, and I got a big window up here with another tree, and got one of the big rotating lights that change colors on an aluminum Christmas tree that my brother bought for my mom in like 1958 when he came back from boot camp. So it's really falling apart, but it's kind of, I can't get rid of the tree,
Well, we've got the same sort of situation. I have decorations that go on our tree every year that my parents had on their tree.
Yeah.
And they're long gone, but all these little things still clip on, and
sure.
My son's first Christmas, my daughter's first Christmas, it all goes back to,
man, it flies, doesn't it? It just seemed like we were kids. I know it seemed like I was a kid, and that was just a few years ago for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I go for lunch with the people I went to high school with. I go once a month, and you know what? They're all senior citizens. All these old gray-haired guys.
I know, man. It's like, I do. Of course, I manage a cemetery, and make a long story short, one of the guys came in and he said, "Man, I think I went to high school with you." And it's like, I was thinking like, man, dude, you look so much older than me, but I guess he's probably thinking the same about me,
Well, and now you get, notifications on Facebook that so and so died.
Yeah, you can't miss a birthday, you know.
Oh man. Well, yeah, but you know, when they start dropping off, you know, it's like, oh man, what,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, hey, you know, it's a part of life. You know, you go through and you just hey, you try to lead a good and prosperous life, and hey, it's kind of what you leave behind, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, that's what we do. We leave behind hopefully we leave behind some good memories.
absolutely, yeah.
You know. Um
Or it would be buh and bye, you know.
well, you know, I've got Swedish on my side or my mother's side of the family, and man, I'll tell you, you know, you say Alfonso's Italian, you could be one of us. You could be.
It's 100. Yeah, basically, my mom was my dad was. I'm 100%, you know. So
No, you're Swedish. That's
yeah.
you're a Swede, you know, through and through. That's, you know,
It's
I don't know. I look at you and that's my family, you know.
Yeah, you know, my mom had they had 14 brothers and sisters, and I just lost my last aunt about 3 weeks ago. So it's it kind of closes that chapter of, you know, of her side of the family, and I've only had 2 brothers and one passed, but it's amazing your family gets bigger, but it actually gets smaller because I only had one. I had a little nephew who was killed when he was 20 years old a few years ago, and so I had 2 girls, and my brother had a girl, and you know, my other brother had a girl and boy, and he had 2 girls. So we had one last shot, one little nephew, and he has since had 2 boys. So we'll at least keep our little immediate family going. We were almost, you know, ready to kind of end the. I mean, they have a bunch of Alfonsos, but just cousins, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You know. Oh, and Above and Beyond Drones has joined us. He says, I'm a freak of nature. Yeah. Well, there you go. And Ray keeps reminding us that it's April 2nd, 2022 in Jensen Beach, Florida.
Yeah, that's you know, man, you know, when we booked Spin Up, I think I booked it when it first came, and it's of course the same way now, man. April 2nd seems like it's a long way, but you know, it's December, January, February, March. So yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah. Florida for us is iffy because the border and
So are y'all still, is Canada still kind of, I mean, are y'all, I mean, how's the COVID situation there, and what are y'all?
it's pretty grim these days.
Really?
Yeah. We've had a real big uptick here. So, you know,
our province is increasing every day of the 7-day average.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not looking good.
You know, we paid for an Italy trip. Oh God, it was supposed to be in 2020. Yeah. When was COVID? Yeah. 2020, right? March of 20, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then, you know, man, we had to pay for that trip. I think it had to be paid for. It's a Viking ocean cruise, you know, Italy, Rome to Venice. And we paid for it, I think, 18 months before that. So it's got postponed twice, and we're supposed to go again in March. And it's like, man, that trip it's kind of done, of course, took the excitement off the trip just because it's been canceled so much.
Yeah.
But if we do get to go in March, it will be, I think, 45 months that it was paid for. Of course, you know, I guess it would have cost a lot more now, you know.
Yeah.
But we did lose some insurance. I mean, I don't know. We were supposed to have the insurance, and they said it wasn't good for. They didn't figure a pandemic would hit, so they kind of weaseled their way out of that $700. But hey, you know what? I'll be glad to go, and I hope it does. But now it's kind of spiking again, and I don't want to go. I hate to say I don't want to go to Italy and have to wear a mask and not see half the stuff. So.
Yeah, with this new variant, I'm afraid it's going to be another 2 years. Somebody's going to die, and not by COVID.
Yeah.
I can't take this anymore.
Well, you know, I think that's what made Spin Up. I think it was timing, and people were ready to go. And I mean, I know Kelly had a great crowd, and, you know, for me, I drove. A lot of people flew, but yeah, I think, of course, I would say probably 80-90% of people there had their, you know, I've already had my booster, you know, the 2 shots plus the booster, and I'm not sure about, but you know, but on the other hand, if you think about it, I don't know about y'all, but, you know, where we were at last year, you didn't have a lot of people catch the flu, but maybe because of the mask. I know you can't, you hardly heard of anybody having a flu.
Yeah.
Everybody at work rubbing everything down, cleaning it.
Yeah.
That's right. I haven't had a sniffle in 2 years.
Yeah. So and I know I used to, when I would get a cough, it seemed like I'd keep it for like 6 months. My family would even, my daughter's a nurse practitioner, and, she'd like fuss at me, you gotta, what do you have, and, but, it's like, man, it's been so good, but, man, I don't know. I just hope we don't start all over again. That's kind of because I know. I have a friend that comes by and drinks coffee with me, usually at the real estate office, and he's going, and it's kind of like it was September, October. We started talking about going. We were supposed to go originally in April, and then of course it got closer to Christmas, and then it got to February, and we knew we wasn't going to Italy,
Yeah.
So now it's kind of happening maybe all again,
Yeah. Well, we can go into the States, but we have to have tests before we can come back.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what. Yeah, I know Lauren Donald was really wanting to come to spin up, and he's up there in Canada, and and
actually, if it's 3 days, we don't have to.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So is it the same if you drove in, or the same thing?
Yeah, you've got 3 days to get back.
Okay.
But I don't know. Well, no, because you can't get on an airplane unless you've got a negative test. So
yeah,
if we were to go to Florida, we would have to drive down, visit, and drive back and make it in 3 days.
Yeah,
I did that when I was in high school. We had 4 guys in a Volkswagen Beetle, and we went from Canada to Daytona Beach, put our foot in the water, got back in the car and drove back and made it in time for school Monday morning.
Well, I tell you what, Captain Ray, hey, if Captain Ray's saying, here, picture this guy, Johnny Alfonso. If y'all come, I'll put a Speedo on, and or either a clown outfit, whatever.
A clown and a Speedo.
Yeah, there you go. A speeding clown.
That guy.
Oh my God.
So y'all been doing any flying, or how's the weather? Do y'all get to? I mean,
I'll probably fly on Monday, weather permitting. I've got that construction project I'm working on down the road, and I'll probably fly that, and hopefully that should wrap up. I don't know. It may yet wrap up that project. I've been flying that one since May.
So Gary, are you doing like stages? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because today I went in the guy's president of a bank here, but I had to bring him some paperwork, but he's a builder also. So he saw my shirt, of course, and he said, so we started talking. He said, man, that's a great idea to, you do the slab and then you do the studs. And, so, and I actually had a guy build a house right around the corner, which I did it from my house. And I was showing him, of course, I don't say he wasn't too impressed because he didn't know anything about drones. Now his wife loved the pictures, but that's I think a thing that could be a easy. I don't say easy, of course. When they get the roof on, it's different. But you can leave even if you walk through with the drone and kind of do some.
Well, this
inside.
this project is a greenhouse.
Oh, okay.
And it's huge. And they got the roof on, but you can't tell. It's all glass. I flew over there the other day, and they were maybe a third of the way through the roof. And
they're getting on me about the Speedo, you guys. We may, Chris Waters said that's a reason not to go. Well, Chris, you could always edit me and put me in something. I might be standing next to iJustine or something. Just saying, Chris.
Is that a what we call Ray Kelly says bikini? I think it's a mankini, or a banana hammock.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, Ray, look, I'll tell you what, Captain Ray, man, look, he, I tease him all the time, but I tell you, that dude enjoys his retirement. He flies every day. And I teased him last night. I think he's flown with everybody that came to Florida almost, because he's in New York, which is a big crowd up there. And then, of course, now he's in Florida. And so he has a great time. And he's loving that Mavic 3, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 I would imagine. That'd be an adventure to fly that. it's a lot of money to have up in the air. But if you want it,
Yeah, and I think everybody, what you need to do on that, we talked a little bit, I know, pre-show. I mean, I think everybody has to, get the drone that's best for you, and don't try to keep up because, listen, the Mini 2, even Marcus Crawford, Idaho Quadcopter, Marcus brought his little SE to spin up, and I mean, he had just as much fun as I did flying. I mean, it's about flying. When you got them sticks, I mean, believe it or not, now if you buy a SE, a Mini 2, a Mini, Air 2S, a Air 2, and the Mavic 3 all have the same controller.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're holding that, hey, it's about flying, and it's not. I don't say it's not so much about what you're flying. And of course, I understand there's different levels. I mean, I know Ron Lockwood's in the chat, and Ron's a photographer, and he sees things a little different than I do. Chris Waters also, does a great job editing, but. I mean, listen, I don't know what we expect out of these drones, coming up is 6K, 8K, 10K. Where's it going to end,
Yeah. Oh, and Ray bought insurance on his Mavic 3. So,
yeah, he said he was.
Yeah, he said he bought it. So, he said that there in the chat. So, yeah. I don't even know if we can insure a drone in Canada. Have you ever tried, Jim?
I haven't looked into it, no, but there are some insurance companies that do offer drone insurance.
I actually had it 1 year with State Farm, but I don't know. I mean, it's fairly cheap, but I don't know. I mean, listen, I could go out 10 minutes from now and have an accident, but it's I just never had a problem. Of course, I don't know. I mean, people brag on a State Farm, and if it flies away, I don't think you have to have the drone. I think that's a good thing,
Yeah.
So,
If you dump.
I mean, if you get tired of your drone, just running into the swamp down here and just call State Farm is all I can say. I don't know.
A Gatorade.
Yeah, Gatorade. There you go.
That was some video that they had with the gator biting on the drone and the lipo catching fire. Man, that'd be.
Yeah, I like that little, Jim, I know you've seen it, and Gary, you probably seen the little remote control alligator head. That'd be a cool thing to have, in the water when people.
I've got a remote control boat that I mess around with in the pool. But
yeah, and I know most of the drone guy, a lot of them, not a lot, but most, but I mean, a lot of them had the remote. They're into the RC cars. That's a big hobby thing there. I know DeMarco had some. I think Al Duran. They had a couple of them at Spin Up. They were flying. They were doing at the field on Sunday.
Yeah,
and those cars were getting after it. I know they were fun to watch.
Yeah, I've got a radio control snowmobile.
Really?
But the problem is, you'll be zipping across the lawn, with the snowmobile in the snow, and then you hit one dog footprint and the thing just goes right into the hole. You got to have an open field without any footprints in it, or you're going to be walking out there and getting it. So
yeah, I could have. Yeah, that's. I've never been on a snowmobile. Never really even seen one up close, I guess.
Oh, really?
No, not here. I mean, that's something. Now listen. With the COVID and a hurricane, and we had a tornado before, we'll probably have record snowfall in Louisiana this year. I'm sure that there'll be an avalanche, in January.
That's why they call it climate change now instead of global warming, because it goes everywhere, right?
What's funny, the hurricane came on August 29th, of course. It was 16 years to the date that Katrina came. But not only that, I think 2 days later, we got – there were more people flooded from the 2 days after the storm because we got like 4 inches or 5 inches of rain in about an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. So it's it's really been a very trying year. Not all over the country. California had the fires, and there was just a lot going on, and the COVID, and man, people's been through a lot. I hate to say it, and it's definitely.
Does it snow down there, Johnny?
It's a rare occasion, but we did have about probably 7-8 years ago, maybe not 5 or 6 years ago. We had like about 6 inches of snow, which was a lot. I mean, what we call snow, y'all would just call flakes. Yeah. I mean, when we get even a thought of snow, they close the schools for 3 days.
Yeah, that's what Big Bob was saying. He says they had a half an inch of snow and shut everything down.
Oh yeah, oh my God, that day, and of course, people, when the trees start, I mean, we have so many trees and we got overhead power lines, and it wasn't funny. We have big oak trees in the front. And I remember those icing up, and of course the limbs starting to snap, and it's not so funny then,
No,
and it's not so pretty either.
Yeah.
We had a power outages. Being out in the summertime is one thing. It's hot as hell, but being out of heat is a whole different story.
Well, up here they tend to because we get ice too. They tend to clear the trees that are anywhere near electric lines, right?
Yeah.
And on our street, they were going by and they would put a red circle with an X on it, and they would take that tree down. Well, I had a tree that was kind of rotten in my yard, and I didn't really want it there. So I went down to the hardware store and I got the spray paint and I sprayed
Did it yourself
with an X, and they took it down, and they took it all away.
Well, that's like here, I didn't have, personally, my neighbor's tree fell in my yard and went through, I broke 3 of my windows. And, of course, it's an act of God. And, of course I had to pay for the cleanup, and my insurance company treated me very good, but, there was so many pine trees down, and this was a big oak tree, but, everything here is overhead, so there's, and then of course people are getting the power company, or, we're going to be paying for it. We're still paying for it from Katrina. And now they'll start all over again with a surcharge. And, people ask, why don't they start going underground? Well, I'm sure it's not that easy,
No, it's not. It's not. It's not cheap.
No.
This tree out front, a guy hit it with a pickup truck and split the trunk, and then the thing died, right?
Yeah.
So I had to put in an insurance claim, and they gave me $500 to have the tree taken down. Well, I ended up spending $1.99 for the spray paint, and the power company came and took it down. So
yeah, and it's like here, they still have, there's a big crew went through about 2 weeks ago, and they replaced every pole, which is Highway 51, state basically goes from here to Chicago. And it's they had, they just set the old poles down and put the new ones up in a matter. They drill them and put them right in, but they're still creosote, poles, and very, very few metal, aluminum poles or whatever, the steel poles, I guess. They all have they say they have to be painted and they have to be treated. So there's a negative to every, aspect of that,
Yeah. Well, that's for sure. Poles ain't cheap, and we got lots.
Just in our city alone, I think they said we had 1,300 poles down. So
wow, that's a fair sized Canadian forest,
Yeah. I know on my daughter's street, she lives like 2 streets over, and from behind her house, they had, they had 15 poles, whether it be light poles or, power poles, and 13 of them were down on that one street. So
wow, yeah, that's devastating, isn't it? Really, hard for us up here to imagine. The last time we had a hurricane, I think, was 1953.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm 65, and we went through, Katrina, it was toward New Orleans a little bit, to the east of us. But here, I'll be honest with you, it was tough that night, because it was 6 hours we had 126 mile an hour wind recorded here for probably, that was the highest, but they were over 100 for probably 6 straight hours.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. And it was like, it was bad.
Yeah.
We've had some mini tornadoes.
Yeah,
we get tornadoes from time to time.
I would say that this thing made Katrina look like a thunderstorm. I'll be honest with you.
Wow.
Because you normally in a hurricane, you might get 10, 15, 20 seconds of really heavy wind, and it's deadly silence. It's like just a band coming through. But this wind would probably last near 45 seconds, and then but it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And of course it was at night, you couldn't see. No. And you was hearing things hit and things snap, so it was pretty bad.
Yeah, kind of scary stuff, eh? How long
it really was, yeah.
How long were you without power?
We were out 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
And then my neighbor, whose tree, and she was out 20 days right behind me.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. So what do you
Yeah.
do? Run an extension cord from your backyard across
Generator. Yeah, I have a generator. I just had a little gas generator that was gas or propane. I just kept, I have 2 refrigerators and a freezer, and that's really all you can keep going. You don't want to lose your food or, lose all the stuff in your freezer. And of course, the problem is you can't get gas once that hits because none of the stations can get gas and they can't pump it. So it was pretty, it was pretty bad. But hey, we'll just hope we don't have another one, for a while. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, we got to take care of what we got. And
I was able to get some great footage though, and but I tried to be. I didn't really put up a lot because you try to be respectful. When somebody's got a tree through the house, you don't want to be flying a damn drone over it.
Yeah, don't fly through the hole and into the.
Yeah, I mean, I did have one girl that, she had 5 trees through her house, and she wanted some great pictures, so I was able to get it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I did more of like getting the debris. If you can picture in some of the rural neighborhoods, they have, I say, bigger lots, and you couldn't even see the house because of the debris, like stacked 8 and 10 feet tall,
Wow, that's
and the only good thing, you got to put it by the road, and of course FEMA made pickups, with them big tandem trucks, and it would take 6 or 8 trucks with tandem to get the debris from one house,
Wow,
so,
crazy stuff. Yeah.
Cleanup job.
And they burn a lot of it because you can't bury that much. You can't dig a hole deep enough for that,
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to the hour. I see, Jim, you topped 100 subscribers this week, eh?
I believe I'm up to about 114 now.
Whoa.
Good job.
Yeah. You're just
Gary.
rolling.
Yeah, Gary, you're right at you getting close to 1,000, right?
I was at 1,000 in 2020.
Well, that's what
And I dropped about 50, and I'm back up to what, 974 or something.
Yeah, I think it was near 980 a while ago.
Yeah.
I just looked at it.
I think I got 26 to go. So, that's a milestone that really doesn't mean much.
No, and I think people, I'm at like 513 or something or whatever. But it's I think the people just need to have fun. Everybody gets hung up on numbers, and even you're editing your video. You want it to be better when you do one, but hey, just have fun. That's what the industry is about. The drone. It's just I think I just kind of stumbled across it one morning while I was drinking coffee at work. Somebody had a Phantom 3 thing up, and that was a couple years ago. And I said, man, I'm gonna get it. And of course I watched a million YouTube videos before I bought my first drone.
Yeah.
And
well, what I've said before is subscribers feed your ego, right? But comments and likes, and views.
Well, absolutely, yeah. That's what I say.
They feed your soul, right?
Yeah, people who take time to watch the show, they watch a replay, they comment on your video, and that's the guys that really make the. I think we all get hung up on numbers, and man, somebody made it. Look, you gonna get the thumbs down. You got to get some. People love to put their thumbs down.
Yeah. Well, nobody else sees them anymore. So.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? If they took time to do the thumbs down, well, they came in there and logged in and watched you for a few minutes and put the thumb down. So hey, you know what? Yeah. They counted it as a view just to let them know.
That's right. Right. It's all engagement, right?
Yeah. And listen, hey, I don't know if you need everybody to like everybody, but everybody should get along and help each other. And I think that's one thing I've learned. When I was buying a new laptop, I reached out to say Mark Fisher and just different people across the United States who helped me. Sam Burns out in California, I asked him about this and that. And if you're flying FPV, drones mean so much more than you need a good laptop or computer. You need a phone, whether it's an iPad, you need an editing software. So it's, shooting a drone footage may be the easiest part, Yeah.
We were talking the other day. I was on, those guys. They were talking about the Air Peak, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I seen it got.
It was $9,000, right? And I said,
we were bitching about the Mavic 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it was $9,000 for the Air Peak. It was $2,200 for the gimbal. $6,500 for a camera and $2,200 for a lens, which brings it up to $19,000 you got in the sky.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, that's a whole different flyer than me. You know.
Oh yeah. And
I bet you know how you see the big X. This would be an X through Johnny Drone Flyer. You know what I mean? There'd be no more Johnny Drone Flyer.
For sure. Anyway, that said, we're going to wrap it up. That was a quick hour. Thanks
Man,
so much.
Does go. I want to thank y'all. I appreciate being on, and man, it was fun. You know, I know, man, it does go. And you know, Gary, I know, Jim, we talked about it before. That hour goes quick, and the week goes by quick.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I'm going to have to get on your show. You invited me there last night, and I couldn't make it. But
yeah, we'll definitely get you on. I'll get Captain Ray. You know, Captain Ray does a good job, but he does most of the. You know, he kind of, hey, I'm gonna ask Jim. I'm gonna ask Gary. I'm gonna ask Donald Trump. I mean, he goes after people. So you know what? He definitely, of course, now he's doing his own show on Monday night, so he's getting guests for that too. So yeah, but it's fun. We have a great time on that show, and of course, all the shows. You know, support. I'd say check your subscriber list. Sometimes you get unsubscribed. You know, YouTube does some funny things lately, and you talked about it. You know,
you know, it's all good. Anyway, thanks so much for being on.
Well, thank you.
I'm gonna roll an outro. If you want to stick around, Jim and I usually have a little chat after. And
all right.
Okay, great. You got anything else? You got anything else, Jim?
No, just have another great hour.
Okay, I got to figure out how to run the outro. I do this every week, but I never seem to get it right.
Second nature.
Yeah, here we go.
You can do it.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I lost all my screens here. All right, we'll talk to you later, Jim.
Okay.
Okay. Where did it go? Oh my God. Share.
No, it's me, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know. Here we go.
No religion.
Did I put the intro back up? That's the intro. That's not the outro. Oh,
it's the nothing tro.
Okay. Outro. Oh my God. I'm having a senior moment here.
Oh. Sounds like a commercial.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, we'll figure out how to end the show. It's you that's messing me up here. Share. Why is this thing not doing anything? There we go.
I don't know.
All right, we're out. Oh, now I just removed myself. No, I didn't.
It's the firing squad for me.
Okay, here we go.
Are you plain bored of woodworking? Get excited again with Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit. Fisheye's Sandpaper Kit comes with everything you see here. Just pick your paper, spread the glue, and shake on the sand. Voila! Beautiful handcrafted sandpaper. And if you act now, we'll include candy sprinkles absolutely free. What better way to say I love you than with a gift of sandpaper? Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit is just $19.99 wherever crappy gifts are sold.
Well, a special thanks to everybody that stuck around to the end of the show of the hour before TNL. All 2,417 of you.